Dawn breaks over Scone, a pretty little town in the New South Wales countryside. It's north of Muswellbrook, if you know where that is. Last time I was here, I was filming a smiling cyclist, Sue Abbott, riding on this very same road into town without a helmet, and indeed breaking the law. Today, Sue goes on trial to argue that for her, wearing a helmet is actually dangerous. I was incredulous at the time, but now I've come around somewhat. The family farm just out of town. Sue's husband, Richard, doctor, is getting a bit nervous about costs.
Is that what you got? You're a rodeo?
I'm more worried about the...
Legal fees are now up to $2,500 on a $54 fine. Sue confers at the table with her one expert witness for tomorrow, Bill Curnow.
This is what helmets are supposed
Bill's extensive research shows that there's no clear case for helmets being effective in preventing brain injury.
They don't do.
And that crucial to Sue's defence, they may even be dangerous in some cases. This is because the extra mass on the head can produce whiplash and twisting motions. But can they convince a magistrate of this tomorrow? When everybody believes that helmets save lives.
This is for his closing.
Not sure at all. 5:30 a.m. Scone is more into horses than bikes. And you don't need a helmet to ride your horse around here. I'm really enjoying this town in the early morning, out and about before everyone else. I wonder if the townspeople know what's going on today. Ah, the newsagent's open. Now they usually know everything.
She might be going to court for not wearing a helmet. Yeah, I see her nearly every day riding in and out.
And?
You know, like it's very hard to see if she got hit. She's got no hope, has she? And she's a doctor's wife, so...
I need a coffee. The only place open is a bakery. It's near the grand old movie palace that Sue once hoped to save. I love the oldish look of this place. Do you know Sue Abbott?
Yes, I do know Sue.
Do you know what's happening to Sue today?
No, what's happening to Sue? What did Sue do?
She's going to court for... guess what?
I have no idea.
Not wearing a helmet on the bike.
Oh no!
While the courthouse is still in shadow, the morning sun bathes buildings all around in a warm glow that turns them to butter. How come I got so interested in this helmet question?
ABC News. Good morning, I'm Dan
I
Cox.
wear one myself, but it's that I don't want to be told to wear one. When mandatory helmets came in 1991, Australia led the world. But almost immediately, bike usage fell by between 20 and 40%. Even the policeman who booked Sue admitted that that was the end of biking for him. True, injuries went down by about 30%. But that's round about the same amount that bike usage dropped. And so, no apparent gain. What do you think about that?
Well, unless she's got a very good reason, I think she's sort of... It's like not wearing your seatbelt. I mean, the rules are in place for a reason, aren't they?
Yeah, but I found out that we're the only country in the world almost that has that rule.
Yes, well, I just...
Nobody followed us. Well, it's not quite true. New Zealand followed us, as they always do. Bits of Canada are now compulsory helmet territory. And there are very small pockets of helmet use in the US. But almost all of Asia and Europe allows adults to make up their own minds. Results, not a lot of cracked heads, but safe and delightful cycling. And children not as obese as many of ours. Of course, it's true that Europe did the more costly thing, the more effective thing for safety. They didn't put the responsibility on the head of the cyclist. They built cycleways to separate cars and bikes. By contrast, here in Australia there's very little separation. And indeed a virtual state of war exists between cyclists and other traffic. So here the helmet does make a certain sense. On a battlefield, you do need protective clothing. Only Sue has never accepted that it has to be a battlefield, and rides accordingly, tall, friendly and proud. The helmet policy impacts in strange ways. A friend and I cycled around Sydney's harbour recently, and we didn't see a single other bike. It turns out that helmets are partly to blame. Other big tourist cities like Paris and Montreal sprinkle their streets with thousands and thousands of self-help rental bikes, Velebs they call them in Paris. Why not here? Well, it's very hard to rent a helmet. And so for this and other reasons, we lose that wonderful calming effect that bikes have on city traffic. That wonderful slowing down of life. Ah, here comes Sue. None of what I've been talking about is admissible in court, and the fact that I can't get that through my head has led to a certain tension between us. Hello! You feel really anxious.
I do. So I think I'll chat to you afterwards.
Yeah,
I
no,
can talk to you now as much as
She's very nervous, huh?
well, most people would be.
Yes. You're a scientist by background, aren't you?
Yes, that's true.
And you've written 5 papers, is it?
5 papers were published in peer-refereed journals, yes.
Yeah.
So it makes them part of the official scientific literature.
Yeah. Peer reviews did not help Bill inside. The magistrate, in fact, suggested to Sue that she'd be just as well off consulting somebody who thought that the moon was made of green cheese. Yes, his words, green cheese. And on top of that, Bill never got a chance to explain what his findings were. I wandered the town just a step away. Apparently in the closing moments of the trial, Sue's lawyer whispered to her that if she would promise to wear a helmet in future, perhaps she'd be able to escape a conviction. Sue made no such promise.
You can't photograph the courthouse. You said you just couldn't do it.
We've done that.
I know, but we're not supposed to. So
Arguing on this very narrow basis just is never going to work, is it? It's not.
I don't know. It didn't work for me.
No,
so yeah.
It's going to have to be changed at a much
Yep.
at a political level.
Yes, that's right. It needs to be another forum. The local court isn't the forum. That's exactly right. So yes, we need to do more on the political scene. I head home, thinking about what Sue will do next. She says she's going to keep on riding without a helmet tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. And if she stopped, well, she'll pay the fine. I hope I get home in time for a swim. You know, about 300 people drown each year in Australia, and only about 40 are killed on bikes. I hope they don't get the idea of making us wear life jackets.